Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive paradigm shift in the world of enterprise AI. For the longest time, we've kind of just viewed AI agents as these static task doers, right? Digital assistants that just sit around waiting for a prompt, doing the thing, and stopping. But as enterprises really start scaling up multi-agent systems, that old static model is totally breaking down. It just creates these massive bottlenecks where literally nothing scales unless a human is constantly there pushing the button. So we're shifting toward an entirely new architecture, one where agents are dynamic participants in a continuous organizational learning loop. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see exactly how networks of agents don't just complete work, they actually learn and get fundamentally smarter from their collaborations with us.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. First, we'll cover the two layers of communication. Then the routing bridge, open team collaboration, how AI agents actually dream, and finally, we'll put it all together in the learning loop. All right, kicking things off with section 1, two layers of communication. Think of this as the engine room versus the boardroom. So the easiest way to wrap your head around this foundational architecture is by contrasting the quiet, high-speed machine engine room with the highly visible, human-centric boardroom. Layer 1 is your engine room. It is completely programmatic. This is where machines are talking directly to machines using A-to-A, agent-to-agent communication protocols. It's incredibly fast, infinitely scalable, highly structured, and, crucially, entirely invisible to human users. It just chugs along handling the sheer volume of mundane operational tasks. But on the flip side, we have layer 2, the boardroom. This is the social layer. It's transparent, it's conversational, and it's completely focused on decision-making. This happens in familiar spaces. Think Slack, Microsoft Teams, or agent-native platforms like Buzz. This is where we, as humans, apply our critical situational judgment to whatever the machines have bubbled up to the surface. Now, just take a look at the sheer scale of the private agent network here. These agents are coordinating work programmatically in the background all the time. A single user request might quietly trigger dozens or honestly even hundreds of subtasks. We're talking querying databases, calculating margins, discovering other specialized agents to help out. Imagine if every single one of those micro-interactions pinged you in a chat window. No way, right? Human communication channels would instantly collapse under the weight of all that noise. That's exactly why this layer 1 background coordination is absolutely essential. It prevents us from getting completely overloaded while still executing these massive, complex multi-agent workflows at lightning speed. Moving right along to section 2, the routing bridge. Let's look at how we actually cross between these two worlds. So if most of the work is happening invisibly down in layer 1, how does a machine actually know when to speak up and loop in a human? Well, that is where this core routing loop comes in. You can think of it as the absolute heartbeat of our architecture. It tracks a single piece of information as it travels through the enterprise. It all starts with an agent running a private execution in layer 1. Then it hits step 2, relevance detection. Here, the router spots something genuinely important and bumps it up to step 3, shared collaboration, which is where a human actually gets involved. We make a decision in step 4, and boom, that decision gets pushed right back down into structured intent for step 5, private execution. It's this beautiful, continuous, bidirectional flow of context and authority. The really crucial point here is that the router acts exactly like a bouncer at an exclusive club. It rigorously evaluates business impact, risk, and novelty, and it literally only lets through specific organizationally relevant triggers. Let's say an agent wants to delete production data, or maybe a finance agent and a strategy agent are just wildly disagreeing on a Q3 forecast. The router promotes that right up the chain. It ensures that when an agent does speak up, it actually demands human attention. Because, let's face it, without this bouncer, your cognitive load would max out in about 5 minutes, and your enterprise AI would turn into an unusable nuisance rather than a productivity tool. Which brings us to section 3, open team collaboration, or the shared workspace. Let's look at what happens when those important router triggers go off and agents and humans are openly working together in the exact same room. Platforms like Buzz or Teams stop being just traditional chat apps. They become this highly dynamic human-agent control plane. You've got humans and agents working side by side. And when agents are visible participants like this, serendipitous discovery just naturally happens. For example, a supply chain agent might post an inventory warning for a specific task, and a marketing agent who just happens to be observing that exact same channel suddenly realizes, oh wait, I need to pause our massive ad campaign. The conversation itself creates an immediate, tangible organizational memory trail of assumptions, evidence, and approvals. Next up, section 4, how AI agents dream. We call this the knowledge layer.
So how does a collaborative decision made in a random chat channel actually get baked into an agent's future behavior? I mean, how are they actually learning? To understand this, we need to completely redefine the concept of dreaming. I know it sounds super sci-fi, but in this context, it's a highly controlled, governed business process. Dreaming here is absolutely not an AI model randomly hallucinating. Not at all. It is a structured, scheduled knowledge management workflow. Typically running overnight, this process reviews the hundreds of temporary observations made during the day. It compresses long, winding collaborative chat threads into core decisions, reconciles any contradictions, and extracts brand new, actionable rules from our human collaborations. Check out the visual representation of that overnight dreaming phase, positioned right next to the central brain and memory blocks. Think about how this all connects in the real world. The router we talked about earlier, that handles real-time learning. When something critical happens right now, it gets promoted instantly. But dreaming? Dreaming handles the deeper learning over time. It looks at the memory, clears out all the irrelevant short-term cache, and systematically updates the shared context for both the humans and the machines. It literally ensures that your agents wake up the next morning fundamentally smarter and more aligned with company goals than they were the day before.
All right, finally, section 5, the learning loop. Let's put it all together.
Let's ground all these theoretical pieces in a concrete step-by-step business example. Follow along with this Memorial Day retail promotion journey. At 9 a.m., a marketing agent privately asks an inventory agent for stock levels. This is pure layer 1 communication, totally invisible to us. But at 9:05 a.m., the inventory agent detects a massive stockout risk if the proposed discounts go over 20%. The router steps in, flags this material risk, and promotes it up to layer 2. By 11 a.m., in a shared Slack channel, a human manager reviews the agent's warning and says, okay, approve a 15% discount limit and exclude region 3. The agents go ahead and execute this right away. But the real magic, that happens at midnight when the nightly dreaming process kicks in. Because look at what happens. That collaborative human decision made in layer 2 is successfully extracted by the dreaming process. The system isn't just remembering that a human typed a message, right? The background dreaming mechanism actually analyzes that interaction, compares it to past promotional campaigns, and creates a brand new, permanent rule. Run inventory simulation before proposing discounts above 15%. It essentially takes a human's situational judgment and permanently upgrades the marketing agent's skills. Tomorrow, that agent won't even need to be corrected by a manager. It just inherently knows the new boundary.
So one isolated collaboration event cascades through the entire system, leveling up the organization's memory across several different scopes. That one single human intervention about the discount limit, that instantly becomes private agent memory for the marketing agent. Then the historical success of that promotion becomes shared team memory for the broader retail group. And hey, if the executive team later decides that 15% is the ceiling company-wide, the knowledge router promotes it to organizational memory, seamlessly updating the guardrails for literally every single agent in the enterprise.
Which leaves us with this final, absolutely critical question to consider as you build out your enterprise AI capabilities. The ultimate goal of this architecture isn't just operational efficiency, it is continuous improvement. By separating machine execution from human collaboration and bridging them together with intelligent routing and governed dreaming, you are building a system that gets wiser every single day. So ask yourself, is your organization just running stateless agents that basically start from scratch every morning? Or are you building a continuous learning loop where humans and agents execute, collaborate, and evolve together?